play in overtime, and the Kings are out of timeouts. Avdia, second free throw. Yes! 1.5 to play. Westbrook running the baseline. Gets it in. Ellis throws up a heave. Off the mark! It's a Rip City winner! Somehow, some way, the Blazers pull this one out. They avoid the collapse, and Denny Avdia with the 2 free throws with a second and a half gives the Blazers the win.
That was the sound of perhaps the craziest, wildest, nonsensical, doesn't make any sense basketball game you will ever witness as the Blazers battled not just the Kings, but themselves and mental errors and mistakes, but grabbed a much-needed 134-133 victory over the Sacramento Kings on Thursday. Welcome into Blazers Game Day. Chris Burkhardt here with you. We're getting you ready for deja vu all over again. A repeat, Blazers versus Kings, but this time down in Sacramento, where the Blazers hope to play just a little bit cleaner than they did just 2 nights ago. If you want to join the conversation with us tonight, 503-248-0620 is the telephone number. You can also hit us up on YouTube. You can jump on over there, join the chat with us, and the Rip City Radio text line. Just text 88528. So, yeah, a wild game to say the least. And as I mentioned, it may have been one of the ugliest games you will ever witness. It was just all off the rails. The Blazers' offense was going early, so was Sacramento's, and then they both toned it down in the second quarter. In the third quarter, not much was going on, and it's a close game. And then in the fourth quarter, the Blazers start to pour it on. At one point, they have a 107-89 lead, that 18 points, their largest lead of the night for a game up to that point that felt relatively close. And they're holding on to that lead through crunch time, and you're getting into the waning minutes, and you're feeling pretty confident that your Trailblazers team is going to get a victory. It comes down to 2 minutes and 22 seconds on the clock. Denny Avdia hits a layup, and it is 113-98. That is a 15-point game in favor of your Portland Trailblazers with 2.5 left to play. But the Kings answer that layup with a 14-0 run. They make it 113-112. The Blazers have chances. They absolutely have chances late, but it was pretty wild how it all went down because nothing, and I mean nothing, was making sense. Once it becomes a 1-point game, Russell Westbrook at the line, hits the free throws, boom, it's a 1-point game. Denny Avdia, he gets fouled with 13 seconds left, makes the first free throw. It's 114-112. See what we could do here to make it a 3-point game, but no, he misses the free throw. It remains 114-112. Except rebound, offensive rebound. Russell Westbrook fouls Donovan Clingan. Donovan Clingan has a chance to make it a 4-point game. He hits the first free throw. Okay, it's 115-112. Now all you got to do is hit that second free throw, but he misses it. They had a chance 2 times at the line there in a span of a few seconds, and they hit 2 of 4 shots. It's a 3-point game. DeMar DeRozan goes down on the other side of the floor, and as we said, a noted 3-point shooter for his entire career, he said sarcastically, hits the corner 3 and ties the game 115-115. And prior to those free throw attempts, too, the Blazers turned the ball on an inbounds play. They turned the ball over. Couldn't handle what was going on. So you get to go to overtime, and the Blazers do their best to, put the thing to bed, but they do the exact same thing that they did in regulation. They turn over the ball on an inbounds play. They give Sacramento life. They miss free throws late, but they also sent Denny Avdia to the line in the last seconds on a very controversial call to say the least. Russell Westbrook called for the contact on what would have been the game-winning shot. I think the contact was minimal, but you know what? There was plenty of shots in this game that were weird calls, similar to the one that Jeremy Grant was called for, where he did not touch DeMar DeRozan, and he got called for the foul. But they send Denny Avdia to the line. Denny Avdia this time takes care of business. He hits his free throws. Blazers win 134 to 133. And again, one of, if not the wildest game you'll ever see. Also, it's time for a segue here. We're going to stop talking Blazers because you know what? That's right. Dante Moore runs around the edge. 5-yard touchdown. Ducks take the 12-3 lead over JMU. 2:37 left in the first quarter. And you got to pop the fight song. I told Brendan, be prepared, because every time Morgan scores during game day, the fight song is going to pop. Of our mighty Oregon. That's right. Take me back to my marching band days. Ducks are at this point, they're just going to play with their food all night long, lined up for a field goal to get a 10-point lead in the first quarter. Now back to basketball. Taking a look at the box score, shall we? On the Kings side of things, Keegan Murray ended the night with 17 points. He had 3 rebounds, 2 assists. Precious Achiuwa had just 2 points and 5 rebounds. Maxime Renaud, he's going to be a focus in tonight's ball game. He had 29 points, 11 rebounds. He was 10 of 20 from the floor. You got to take care of business there because the Kings were able to get 74 points in the paint in this game, something you would hope the Blazers can counteract a little bit and really use Donovan Clingan and Robert Williams, because we've talked about that before. You can't just have those games where they dominate you down low. And Maxime Renaud had a pretty good game. Russell Westbrook, he had 20 points, 10 assists, 3 rebounds, 33 points for DeMar DeRozan, including going 3 of 4 from beyond the arc. None bigger than that game, tying one as time was running down in regulation. 10 points off the bench for Keon Ellis to lead Sacramento there. On the Blazers side of things, Jeremy Grant had 20 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists. He was 3 of 10 from beyond the arc. 17 points for Toumani Camara, who fouled out in this one. And quite frankly, may have been a big reason that he had some of those mistakes down the line. The defense just wasn't the same with him in the lineup, but he's usually the one inbounding the ball. Coach was asked about that in the post-game presser, which we'll listen to in a little bit, about what was going on there. How do you fix those inbound situations? Because you had 2 of them where you turn the ball over. And he said, when you don't have Toumani, it does impact that because he's the guy who's usually inbounding the ball. Now, Denny and Jeremy need to get the ball when the ball's passed to them. But at the same time, when you don't have your normal inbounds passer, it alters how that play can go sometimes. And so it was Chris Murray and Sidi Sissoko, respectively. And, they need to shore those things up going into this game because you never know when you're going to be called upon. Donovan Clingan, 19 points, 8 rebounds, 2 block shots. Quite honestly, he had a good game if you just take away the free throw line. He was 5 of 13 from the free throw line. Blazers as a team 21 of 33. And as everyone was saying in the post-game show, calling on the on the call-in line, you got to hit your free throws. That's what the Shawns would say. Yeah, we say that for a reason. You have to hit those things. And in a game like this one, they were crucial. Sacramento was 31 of 34 from the line. Meanwhile, Portland shot just 63% from the free throw line. Hopefully it gets a little bit better moving forward. Denny Avdia, he had 35 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, which was pretty good. He had a very quiet first half and was able to get it going late. And then 26 points from Shaedon Sharpe on the Blazers bench. They were led by 7 points by Chris Murray. And Chris Murray had only 3 rebounds in this game, but every single one of them was huge. There was big offensive rebounds. Like when you needed them, he got them. It was weird because it felt like he had far more than 3 rebounds. It was just because every single one of them was so important and in crunch time too. So kudos to him for taking advantage and being there when the Blazers needed him. All said and done, Blazers grab a 134 to 133 victory. And I want to take the time to hear from Donovan Clingan, who talked to Travis after the game.
Donovan Clingan joins us now. A lot of emotions in this one, DC. Back and forth quite a bit. After the way that the fourth quarter ended, you came out hot as a team to start the fourth. How are you able to refocus your energy?
Just guarding, getting stops, making big shots. I just can't believe I missed all those free throws late in the game.
You know, this team has had to go through a lot this year. The important thing is, Donovan, you won the game,
That's
and
it.
nobody's going to remember those things tomorrow because it's in the win column, right? So
That's right. I might remember them, but I'm happy we won.
that's the important thing. But, you know, this team finding ways down the stretch and learning how to win. Just how important are these situations to grow as a team?
I mean, this is how you make it late in the season. You win big games, you win close games, and you really just find ways to win. That's the most important part. You know, that's wins is what puts you in the playoffs. So just really getting the win is what's most important.
You guys have won a couple in a row. You play these guys again in a couple of days. It was a physical game tonight. I'm sure that won't change on Saturday. So going forward now with a little momentum, what's next for you guys?
Just get some rest and just figure out ways to clean up our defense, especially in the first half. Just make shots. And for me personally, make some free throws.
Congratulations on the win, DC. Thank you.
Appreciate you.
And there you hear from Donovan Clingan. You got to give him some props. He understood how important those free throw misses were. Maybe it kept him up a little bit after the game, and you could tell it was bothering him. And hopefully you go in and you get better at it. You want to make those free throws. You don't want to be in that situation. But as Travis pointed out, and it is true, I referenced the Ducks a second ago, and the thing is, college football, you got to impress people. You got to impress the committee. You got to have your wins look good. Those things matter. That doesn't matter in the NBA. All that matters is whether you win or lose at the end of the day. That's what counts in the playoffs. You don't have a situation where you're tied in the standings and you go, okay, well, whose wins looked better against, like opponents? Nope, you don't do that. Wins matter. Losses matter. Doesn't matter how they look. A win is a win. Now, coaches worry about how they look, as do the players, and they want to improve them, and we'll see what happens there. This is Blazers Game Day. If you want to join the chat, YouTube's a great way. Just go to youtube.com, type in the chat where Might6478 says, can you please sell us Denny for 2 players and picks? Well, who is us? Who are you? Are you the Kings? Are you whatever fan base you are? I need to know what we're dealing with and what you're getting in return. But also the answer is no. Denny has been an absolute breath of fresh air for the Blazers, something they didn't expect when they traded for him. I think when that happened, most people are like, what? The Blazers had to give away picks with Malcolm Brogdon to get this guy? What the heck? And look what he's turned into. He's been an absolute all-star. Oh, you're a Raptors guy? Okay. You could be Scotty Barnes. Then maybe we can talk. But, I get it. You like Denny because the way he's playing. He's been absolutely incredible. Hey, and shout out to the Raptors, too. They are playing much better than anyone gave them credit for going into the year when you think of what's happened with, obviously you go back to the championship and what's happened in that time. No more Fred VanVleet, no more Pascal Siakam, but they're still finding ways to win. So you never know. Raptors will probably be buyers. I just don't think the Blazers are going to be selling Denny Avdia, unfortunately. Not only has he been playing well, he's the best contract in the NBA right now, bar none. All right, we're going to take a quick break here on Blazers Game Day. When we come back, we're going to head to the coach's corner, hear from head coach Tiago Splitter after that game. We're going to continue to get you ready for it. Blazers Kings, like I said, deja vu as the Blazers play the team that they struggled with in an ugly game just 2 nights ago. Hopefully tonight they can make it look a little bit better. And you can listen to it all here on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620. Oh, welcome back into Blazers Game Day. And I have no idea if Brendan had the camera up on YouTube yet. And it looks like he didn't. So I may have been saved from embarrassment here. But hey, Brendan, I hope you're listening. I know you are. But when you host it here, just know that if you're paying attention on YouTube, you'll notice, hey, why does the room look different? Well, it's because we changed studios. We moved to a different part of the building just down the hallway. And Brendan, if you're watching on YouTube, watch this. The mic, it's got a little spring to it. You see this? You push it down. Hey, it comes right back up. Not like the other one. The mic arm in the other studio was terrible. I felt like it was going to fall apart at any moment. So a second ago, I pushed this down and it popped right back up. I took a mic to the eyeball right as we came back live on the air. So be aware when you're in here doing Blazers wrap up or anything, Brendan, that the arm, it's out to get you. It's out to get you. Welcome back into Blazers Game Day. Chris Burkhardt here with you. If you want to join the conversation, 503-248-0620 is the telephone number. You can also hit us up on the text line at 88528 or go to youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio, and join the chat there, where one of our listeners, Mike6478, was getting into a good debate about Denny Avdia because obviously he's a Raptors fan. He wants Denny. Who doesn't want Denny? That contract is friendly. And he says that, the Blazers can't re-sign him when he gets to it because they're just not going to have enough money. Here's the thing. They're going to have plenty money. They're going to be fine. When Denny Avdia, right now, if nothing changes and they don't trade a soul, which will absolutely happen, when they go into that free agency period looking to get Denny Avdia, I mean, right now, they're going to have Damian Lillard going in as an unrestricted free agent, Jeremy Grant going in as an unrestricted free agent, and you also have Drew Holiday going in as an unrestricted free agent. And that's if nothing changes and all options that they have are picked up, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So they're going to be able to clear money. They're going to have books. I'm ready to go. I mean, Damian Lillard has a player option for 27-28, as does Jeremy Grant, as does Drew Holiday. So if those player options aren't picked up even, you're going to have chances to mess around with your books. Point is, Denny Avdia, I don't think he's going anywhere. The contract is way too friendly as it is right now. Books will definitely clear up the way they need to. And we're talking about a guy who's only 25 years old. So, 2 off seasons from now, we're looking at a 27-year-old starting power forward entering his prime. He's going to get plenty money. At that point, too, Shaedon Sharpe and Toumani Camara still under contract with those extensions that they signed that will be, fairly team friendly at that point, too. It'd be a $23 million for Toumani, or excuse me, $23 million for Shea and $20 million for Toumani. So, yeah, I don't think keeping Denny around is going to be a problem whatsoever. Because if you ask me who's going to be on the team and of the utmost importance in the 2028 free agency, is it re-signing the 27, 28-year-old Denny Avdia or the 38-year-old Drew Holiday at that point? Yeah, it's definitely getting Denny Avdia back. So the Blazers, I think, are going to be just fine. And, yeah, I don't think Denny Avdia is going anywhere because the way the books bounce out, it's just, yeah, they're going to have the ability to get him. Thank you for the compliment or the conversation, though. It's good to sit here and have these debates and maybe learn something along the way. I don't know, but yeah, I don't think he's going anywhere, my man, unless he just keeps playing like crazy and his value's through the roof. And the Blazers like, yeah, give me all your assets and give me everything because we want to make this swing for the guy that we think is the championship contender. But hopefully Denny can be that guy. All right, I said we're going to head to the coach's corner. So Brendan, pop that intro. And, by the way, Mike, you say you're talking about it a lot over there in Israel, talking about Denny back in his home country. Well, maybe you should just switch teams. That's okay, too. Just remember, they Toronto, they say we the North. Keep in mind, Portland is the more North. You can be a Blazer fan anytime you want to root on for Denny. All right, let's head to the coach's corner here. What Coach Tiago Splitter had to say following that crazy, wild, insane game against the Sacramento Kings on Thursday.
The good part, we won, but and the other good part is that I think we had our resilience to play the overtime, and we were kind of like low after that delta in those last minutes in the fourth quarter, where I think we we stopped playing. We didn't manage the clock right. We were rush, turn over the ball, taking bad shots, and they were scoring at us every time. So I think we stopped playing. We relaxed. And I told the guys now in the locker room. So the good part about this is you can learn about these situations, and you still won the game, right? Like watch film on those out of bounds, what we did wrong, and go from that and learn and get better.
What was the tone of that message? Were you upset with them when you were telling them that?
The tone was, no, it was a good tone. It was a nice tone. Just, guys, we got to be better. You got to learn from this. You know, it's too hard to win in the NBA, and if you relax just a little bit, you know, those guys are too good, and they're just going to go at you, and you have stars like the Rose, and they can win the game by themselves. So.
How would you describe the sort of inbounds challenges you guys had? Like, what goes into some of those challenges?
Sorry, say it again?
The challenge getting the ball inbounds on some of those sidelines out of bounds lanes. A couple turnovers, one in regulation, one in OT. Like, what goes into lack of execution there?
Usually we have too money taken out. You got to be strong with the ball. Too money was out. We had a Chris one, we have CD one. But again, you got to be also the guys that catch the ball. Danny, and I can't remember right now. Jeremy, yeah. And then just got to be smarter. You know, just strong passes, catch it, be strong with the ball. Use your body. So those are the things that we're going to watch on film and work on the court, you know, next practice.
Why do you think it is that the free throws have been a recurring thing for you guys? I think this is the third or fourth game this season where you guys have had double-digit missed free throws, including some of these big spots.
Yeah, I mean, of course, DC didn't have a good night. You know, Shada missed two. I think those two guys, basically. You know, Danny was 10 for 12. The other guys made all of them. So, you know, I think DC was shooting well during the season. Tonight was a bad night for him. That's okay. He's going to learn from it, get better, and work on it.
Was Shane on a minutes limit? Is that why he didn't play?
You talked about this could be a learning lesson for these guys. What is the big learning lesson with this? Is it a bunch of little things down the stretch, or is there kind of a overarching?
I think it's a mentality thing, Joe. Like, the way we start, we didn't like at all. Like, they scored 40 points in first quarter. Have to use I don't know how many timeouts just to get them right. And a little bit what I told you guys before the game about we relaxed a little bit. So can't do it. These guys are too good. Now you got a couple punches in the face, then you wake up, then you play, and then again you up 20, 17, whatever we were. We relax, get punched again in the face. Luckily, we had energy and focus to finish in the game in the overtime. So
Get to play them again in 2 days.
yeah, I mean, and it's great. Now I want to play them. I say it was a bad thing. Now I want to play them again and play better.
That's right out of Tiago Splitter with the Oregon fight song. Deer Hill Jr., 56-yard rushing touchdown. Oregon takes the 19-3 lead over JMU. 11:33 left in the second. Told you, get ready. See how many times I get to play this fight song during the show. Don't get your hopes up. We're not going full Oregon Duck on you just yet. I can't start doing push-ups mid-show. I'm out of shape, and I can't take that. I can't take that. Now, you heard Tiago. I did like at the end there when he's talking about, we got up, we got punched in the face multiple times, basically. He gave them credit for being able to withstand that and get through, get where they needed to go. But sometimes you got to find ways to punch back. I think absolutely punch back. Find ways to do that. And during Tiago's conversation there, we were also getting some comments on the YouTube chat. Tall Tim as who will be the leading scorer tonight. They continue to double Denny. Grant was pretty cold Thursday until late, and Grant had some good plays, and he won't play tonight. He was listed as questionable yesterday with an Achilles soreness. That was left Achilles tendon soreness, and that was downgraded today to out for the game. So they won't have Jeremy Grant. So I think tonight you're going to have Shaden Sharp be very productive. I think the defense of Sacramento throughout the team on Thursday did confuse him a couple times. I think they went into some zones, and it was just he wasn't expecting it, kind of had to adjust. So I'd like to see him get the shot going the way that we expect, and he has been very good with over the last handful of games. And I also kind of said it jokingly in the chat, but Caleb Love is due. Caleb Love, we've seen, is very up and down. And what I love about Caleb Love is there's no fear in him. He's never seen a shot he doesn't like. And that can come back to bite you at times. But at the same time, we've also seen players that are hesitant who will not take a wide open shot, and that can hurt you just as much. So I think this is the type of night where Caleb Love could get going. That'd be pretty nice to see. So, yeah, that's what I'm thinking there. And then we also had David who says, what do you think about Sharp's last-minute decision-making? Well, I think Sharp is going to be just fine. I know he's made some mistakes throughout the season, but he's also being put in some prime spots where he hasn't been put in before. So I definitely think he'll learn. I hope he learns, because you need to get to the point where you're not questioned about those decisions. That's what made Dame so great, when Portland had him in his prime run, and can't wait till next year when you get to see him again. But you just knew that if you put the ball in Dame's hand, the right thing was going to happen. Maybe the shot wouldn't go in at the end of the game or whatnot, but you knew the right play was going to be made. And so Shea needs to continue to learn to do that, and I think he'll be just fine. All right, this is Blazers Game Day. If you want to join the conversation, 503-248-0620 is the telephone number. You can also hit us up at the Rip City Radio text line. Just text 88528. Or you're like, who's he talking about when he says, Mike 6478 or David or Tall Tim? Oh, well, those are the guys' username on the YouTube chat. So just go on over to youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio, and you can join the chat there as well. We're going to take a quick break here on Blazers Game Day. When we come back, we're going to take another look at this Blazers team and this Kings team, because I definitely think this game is going to play out a little bit different than it did on Thursday. But is it going to be to the benefit to the Kings or the Blazers? It's going to be the one that decides to take the haymaker first. Hopefully it's Portland tonight. All right. What do I mean by that? I don't know. I still got to figure it out. That's what the break's for. We'll be right back here on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620. Welcome back into Blazers Game Day. Chris Burkhardt here with you. If you want to join the chat, 503-248-0620 is the telephone number. You can also go to youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio, or hit us up on the text line, 88528, and send me your comments, questions there as well. So tonight, it's Blazers versus Kings, this time in Sacramento. A chance at another win, and you would hope that the Blazers can figure it out. And you need to play clearly better than you played in that game 2 nights ago. You led a team, quite frankly, without their 2 best players. And DeMar DeRozan was incredible, and he's a very good player. We know that. But we're talking about a team without Zach LaVine and without Domantas Sabonis. And you would think that a team in that situation who has been bad all year long, even with them, wouldn't really stand a chance, even against the injury-depleted Blazers, because the Blazers just went and beat Golden State game prior. But no, they let him hang around. So tonight, that's what you can't do, is you can't let him hang around. And Tall Tim said it in the YouTube chat, is, Donovan needs to be better defensively in the paint. And I think that's absolutely for sure he does. Absolutely for sure he does. As we mentioned when we were breaking down the box score, Maxime Renaud, 29 points. Maxime who? 36 minutes, 10 of 12 from the floor, and he had 29 points. So you need to get your bigs in the paint, ready to go, and just locking everything down. Like Oregon's locking it down. A beautiful catch in the corner. I think that was McClellan. Dante Moore throws a dot. Defensive holding on JMU. That's obviously declined. 9 minutes left in the second quarter. It is 26-3. PAT coming for your Oregon Ducks. Mighty Oregon. Yes, this is a nice day for me. I'm rocking this fight song, Brendan. We ain't stopping. But no, back on track. Yeah, defensively, I think it's going to be key for the Blazers tonight. And Tall Tim hit it on the head there. It was Swiss cheesy at time. There was a lot of holes in it. And you need to have Robert Williams and Donovan Clingan locking down the paint, especially when it's a team like Sacramento, who is not going to stretch the floor and take a lot of three-pointers. We mentioned that they are one of the teams in the league who averages the fewest three-pointers per game. Portland went out and shot 45 times from beyond the arc. Sacramento shot just 19 threes total. They made 6 of them. They are going to find ways to get the ball in the paint, and they're going to find ways to beat you in the mid-range. That is what DeMar DeRozan does so well and has his entire career. And then you have Russell Westbrook, who does a good job still, even though he's not what he was in Oklahoma City, still does a good job of attacking the rim and getting the ball off to his centers in the paint for those easy assists. That's how he got Steven Adams paid. So you need Robert Williams and Donovan Clingan 100% locked down, ready to go in the paint tonight. Otherwise, you let a team like Sacramento, who shouldn't stick around. And you just can't do that, because in the NBA, if you do that, you're going to take some on the chin that you did not expect. And we talked about it going into the game yesterday about Thursday, just about how these 2 games in general are big. It's the difference between basically, being in the play-in or being on the outside, worrying about Sacramento catching up to you, than you are making a play-in spot. You win this game, you improve to 12-16. Basically, a game behind Golden State. You've put space between you and Sacramento. If you would have lost both these games, you would have gone just 2.5 games ahead of Sacramento. That's not what you want. You got a 5-game gap right now. Make that bigger, and understand that you got games coming up in the near future against Dallas. You still got the Clippers and Utah and the Pelicans, those teams that are below you in the standings, coming up as well. So you got to take advantage. They take advantage in the fact that they won that game. They didn't take advantage in the way they played. They need to play better. Plain and simple. Lock it in. Don't lose your train of thought. Don't be lackadaisical. Get to the point and flex on them a little bit. The worst possible scenario is that Portland leaves, they jump on a plane, and they come back to Portland tonight. And as they look out the window, they see a beam coming out of Golden One Center, a big purple light shooting up into the Sacramento sky because Sacramento got the light to beam. Can't let that happen. You got to lock down on this team tonight. And as Tall Tim said, think that has a lot to do with guys like Donovan Clingan being ready to go defensively tonight. And that's going to be huge. He also chimes in that apparently the Warriors are asking about Rob. Well, newsflash, Tim. I think a lot of people are going to be asking about Rob. He's not too expensive. He's been playing extremely well. Still watching his minutes. He's still not playing the 2 games of the back-to-backs, but there's going to be teams who want him. And I think it'll be really interesting to see where the Blazers decide to go with him, because I think there's value there for him on the roster, but there's also a lot of value in what he can bring you to help you build your roster moving forward. Don't know if he's necessarily a piece moving forward yet. I don't know. I mean, that's speculation. But yeah, you're going to get a lot of people calling about him. He's been incredible. I still think he's their best center pound for pound when he's fully healthy, ready to go. What he does defensively is great. And then the way he plays above the rim, I love. Sign me up for that all day long. But depends who the Warriors want to give. Maybe Portland can be the Jonathan Kuminga reclamation city, because I think that guy just needs a change of scenery. For some reason, he's falling out with Steve Kerr, and it ain't working. But when you see him play, he looks like he's built in a lab to play basketball. He's gosh, great size, good athleticism. I want to see where he lands when he's out of Golden State, because I don't think that marriage is lasting much longer. All right, this is Blazers Game Day. We're going to take a quick little break. When we come back, it's time for our keys to the game. What do the Blazers need to do to repeat the result of Thursday, but not the way it happened? We'll let you know when we return here on your home, the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620. Welcome back into Blazers Game Day. Chris Burkhardt here with you, getting ready for Kings Blazers. Time now for our keys to the game, and the keys to the game are going to be similar to what they were in last game. It's just about actually doing those things. So you know that Sacramento comes in as a poor three-point shooting team. They're not going to base their offense outside of the arc. They averaged 30.3 attempts per game, which is the second fewest in the NBA. They also only averaged 10.7 makes, which is the fewest per game in the NBA. To put that in perspective, the Golden State Warriors averaged 43 attempts and 16 makes, and those are both number one in the NBA. So you know that Sacramento isn't going to use that three-point arc like a lot of other teams. So force them to, or not necessarily force them to, but know that they're going to come to the paint, and that's where, like Tall Tim said earlier, you really need Donovan Clingan to be locked in defensively, and you need Robert Williams right behind him ready to go. Don't give up those points in the paint. Sacramento scored 74 points in the paint in their last game against the Blazers. Maxime Renaud had 29 points, absolutely went off. So you got to defend the paint, make them work. This is a mid-range team with no Zach LaVine. And in the paint, too, they don't have Domantas Sabonis, which changes things, too. You should be able to dominate. Go do that. In that same vein, don't let the rebound game be as close as it was. It was 44-42 in favor of the Blazers, and Sacramento comes in as the second worst rebounding team in the NBA at 39.9. Meanwhile, the Blazers are top 10 in the NBA. So you need to flex that muscle, get those big men going, and absolutely dominate that rebounding battle, especially the offensive side of the glass. Don't let them go get those second or those defensive rebounds, push the tempo. And also, like I said, make sure they aren't getting those offensive boards. Sacramento averages 9.3 offensive rebounds per game, the third fewest in the league, while the Blazers average 14.6. So they are doing work on the offensive side of the glass. The Portland Trail Blazers are. Defensively, though, Blazers are 26th in the league in rebounds on the defensive side. So they need to be more aggressive on that end to really make the Kings work. That's what I want to see tonight. If you want to join the conversation here, give me your keys. 503-248-0620 is the way. Or you can go over to youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio to join the chat there, where Mike6478 has the comment of the night. He says, just reminding you all, did you vote Denny for All-Star? The answer to that is yes. Also, everyone else, if you haven't, get on to NBA.com, vote for him as an All-Star. And if you've already voted, vote again, because it would be awesome to see him make a All-Star game for your Portland Trailblazers. Also, Dirt Monk Fritz had me laughing during the break. He said, because Tall Tim was talking about how the Warriors had shown interest in Robert Williams. Well, the Fritz, he said, the Warriors were also asking about Burkhardt, $4 million a year, but he turned it down to stay in Portland. What a legend. Made me laugh. Funny enough, I did apply for a job years and years ago to cover the Warriors down there for NBC Sports Bay Area. I didn't get it. I think they hired Malika Andrews' sister instead. I think the only other team I've applied for a job in my time is Utah. I was willing to move. But as I said in the chat, I love that you like me, but man, I'm Portland born and raised. And so getting a chance to cover this team like I am right now, I'm living the dream, baby. It's awesome. But it's time to go. Brendan, don't even play Seven Nation Army. Nope, turn it off. I don't want Seven Nation Army. You know why? Because the Ducks scored again. They scored again. It is 33-3, 4 minutes left in the half. Go Ducks. While the fight song plays, let me tell you, don't go anywhere, because coming up next, it's the Trailblazers pregame show with Chad Doing across the Trailblazers audio network. And then, of course, it'll be tip-off time in Sacramento with your radio voice of the Blazers, Travis Demers, on the call. And when it's all said and done, right back here for the fifth quarter, where hopefully we're breaking down a Trailblazers victory. Brendan, I'm going to hit it one more time. Play it out. You can hit break when it's time.